Fun fact, lav mics are actually very itchy to wear. So here are 6 ways to scale Facebook ads. 6. There we go. And I know you're thinking, so I have this profitable campaign, I want to get more sales at this cost per sale, or I'm getting good cost per lead. You've probably tried scaling, you probably just threw a bunch of money at the budget and all of a sudden your cost per lead shot up through the roof, or your cost per purchase shot up as well and your ROAS plummeted. That's because it's not that easy to scale campaigns. The reason being is that if you just shoot up your budget, well, 1, you're resetting the learning on your campaigns, but 2, Facebook will find a way to spend that extra money even if it isn't your best interest. Facebook doesn't care. Scaling is a delicate process, and I'm actually going to show you the methods we use at our ads agency. And if you want to scale through better ads, you can actually check out our free cheat sheet where we saved all of our favorite Facebook ads. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them, where you can look at what makes them good, the ad copy, the landing pages they go to, and use these for inspiration when creating your ads. That's completely free. Just click the link in the description to get access to that. So the first thing you can do to scale your Facebook ads profitably is using incremental budget increases. As I mentioned, it's not as easy as just sinking money into a campaign and then expecting your results to skyrocket and your cost per lead or cost per purchase to stay the same. It just doesn't work like that. Doubling your budget does not equate to double the conversions or double the conversions at the same cost per conversion you were getting at the lower spend level. Absolutely not. Increasing your budget, whether it's 10%, 12%, 15%, any higher than that on the increased budget actually resets the learning phase, which you don't want to do. This allows you to monitor the results and performance so that whenever you do have your cost per conversion or your cost per lead or whatever start to go out of whack, you know exactly where it happened. You can actually just revert the changes. Or you can start off a new campaign at that budget level and see if you get similar results. Start off slow. Every 3 to 4 days, increase your budget by 10 to 20% until you hit your max. Again, remember that if you go over 15%, it has a tendency to reset their learning phase of Facebook, which you kind of want to avoid. But this is a really safe and slow way to scale up your budget because you'll know when things go out of whack and can take action around it. Check your data every day while doing that. Has your CPC or conversion rate been affected? Your result rate? Is the campaign still profitable? And if not, when did it become unprofitable? At what budget change? Now, if you want to go aggressive, you can actually just increase your budget multiple times per day as long as you stay underneath that 15% marker to quickly scale up. This is more if you're spending a lot more money per day. But what you want to avoid is actually resetting the learning phase for your campaigns or ad set. The second way to scale up your Facebook ads is actually using lookalike audiences. I actually did another video on what are lookalike audiences and some strategic ways to use them. I'll put the link in the description for that. But basically, lookalike audiences are people on Facebook who have similarities to people that you uploaded to Facebook. So you can create lookalike audiences from Facebook pixel data based on website visitors or other data such as like email lists or phone number lists. The actual percentage of lookalike that you choose for your audience actually matters a lot. So you don't want to just go in there, just clicking around percents and whatnot. Start with 1% just to be safe. The higher percentage will create a bigger audience of people to target, but it won't be as similar as your smaller 1% audiences. The higher percents will actually create bigger audiences to target, but that audience won't be as similar to your original list as would a 1% audience, for example. Lower percents, more similar to original list and more likely to succeed early. You can discover new people to target based on existing customer data, people who've booked a call with you, existing leads, all that jazz. And this is a great way to tap into new potential audiences to scale up your ads to, especially if you're hitting really high frequencies on your existing audiences. The next thing I would recommend is actually looking at your audience overview so you can see who are your most profitable segments. And the reason you're doing this is actually to scale up specific segments or scale down other segments of audiences. And you can actually see this in the Facebook ads dashboard. So it's actually pretty easy to get these insights through Facebook ads account overview section. And it's right here whenever you're inside your ad account, just click on account overview and you'll quickly see some, best performing demographics, age, locations, hours of data advertised that will help you optimize your accounts around this. And it's actually very easy to change this data. So if I want to see, for example, the number of link clicks I got and the cost per link click, I can start to see which gender was performing better in terms of volume and which age range, and then also what was giving me cheaper cost per link click. So So I can see that 55 through 64 is actually giving me a cheaper cost per click than say 25 through 34. But then I would also want to see my purchase data. You can change all that up here too as well to know before you take an action. Also same thing with time of day. I can see what has cost me the most and when am I getting the most. So I can actually see between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. I'm actually, not paying too much more cost per click, but I'm getting way less clicks. So maybe I should just divert that budget towards the hours that I'm getting more clicks and a slightly cheaper cost per click. The next thing I would typically do when scaling a Facebook ads account is actually using campaign budget optimization, CBO for short. This feature gives you more control of how your budget is spent, and it's important for making sure that you're spending as efficiently as possible. CBO actually distributes your budget across the whole campaign instead of having set individual ad set budgets and so on. So whatever is performing best, CBO will start to distribute the budget towards those ads or ad set. The Facebook algorithm will actually figure out which one of these to divvy up the budget to based on how it's performing on like a ROAS level. It's also possible that 80% of the budget will be spent on one ad set and just 20% will be on the other. And this is okay. That typically means that that ad set is performing better. Although CBO does have an issue with picking a winner too soon sometimes. And if you've already experimented a lot with ad set optimization or just setting your budget at the ad set level, I would highly recommend checking out CBO, especially if you're spending a lot. Just know that CBO typically takes longer to work better. The next thing you can do is actually reuse your best ads. So whichever ads you have that are getting your best performance, test them out towards different audiences or different placements. If an ad is working really well for one target audience, try it out for other audiences. Specifically okay, hold on, let me collect myself. Specifically lookalike audiences, this is a great way to scale. And then A/B test your best performing ads. Constantly do this because there might be a different headline or different colors or different call to action that you can use to make these perform better than before. You always want to find that next champion variant who beat the last variant. The last way I scale a Facebook ad account typically is not by testing everything at once. I know what you're thinking, like, let me just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. This is actually really bad to do in Facebook. And it's actually highly likely to backfire for a few reasons. The main one is if something's working, you're like, great. But how do you know what actually triggered that effect? How do you know which component of your campaigns actually caused a lift in performance? You don't really, because you just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall. So you can't actually double down on that. Perfect example of what not to do. Don't just change your CBO to ABO on a campaign. You should be doing a new campaign anyways. Drastically increase your budget, put in new audience targeting and new ads. You're just gonna not really know what variable worked, if any at all. As tempting as it is just to get frustrated with scaling and just throw a bunch of stuff, what I'd highly recommend is first isolating out your different changes, but make one major change per campaign every day and see how it performs. Like, you have to be slow and methodical when it comes to scaling to get the best cost per click, best cost per purchase, or best cost per lead, whatever your target goal is. And as I mentioned, a great way to scale is actually by checking out some other top performing ads and trying to emulate what they're doing well. And you can do so by checking out a free cheat sheet in the links. I hope you got some value to this video, and please, before you leave, just hit the subscribe button, click the bell, click the like button, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. More than happy to read them, and I'll see you on the next video.